What's going on, everybody? Today we have a very special treat for you. We are going to be doing a live design critique of some of our designs from 65 Square, which is our full social media system, which is coming next year. We have some redesigns happening right now. And generally speaking, what we're going to be looking at is pretty much all of the screens from entering a business to exiting the business. And if you don't know, 65 Square is like a 3D social platform. The idea is that this is sort of like if you could turn Google Street View into social media. So a business can set up in our system, conduct e-commerce just like they would on a website or pretty much on Amazon. This is the idea. It's a 3D space though. So keep that in mind. And generally speaking, we do stuff like this in closed team meetings, but today we're going to be doing it for the world. Um, it's very important for designers to get feedback on their work. And when we take a look at the work that they do, it is amazing stuff. And now this designer will be able to use this work in their portfolio after this because we're making this public. So that's one of the benefits of this today. Another benefit is to answer questions. If you guys have questions about any of the designs or about any of the features, you can put them in the comment section on YouTube. And I'm actually just going to step away just for a second to grab some water while Zoom is taking a long time to load. But yeah, I'll be right back. All right, it's still not loading. Okay, here it is. So let me make sure that I can see any comments that are popping up. So on this particular screen, on this page, these are all PDFs. Generally, these are done in Figma. So all of our designers right now are using Figma for their designs, and then we're building this in Unity. So we basically just import all of these screens into Unity. Now, there may be some modifications that happen as far as like the development stage is concerned, but generally what you see here, like feature wise, is going forward. Before, it's good to note also that some of this stuff is like not going to be for development. Some of this will be for development. Some of this is not accurately represented. For instance, this sort of glass-like panel, we were actually designing this before Apple released their glass look. But this is definitely a feature inside the system. We are working on sort of more of a blurred feature here. So definitely it's like very similar to Apple's latest glass type, I forget what they call it, glass something. So throughout, it may not be represented 100% accurately. It's just depicted in this way. And let's just see what the designer said. You check the red sticky notes marked with red stars. There's one red sticky note without a star. That task isn't completed yet, but will be done soon. All right, so red sticky notes. Let's see. There's one and doesn't have a star. There's another. All right, so I think those are all of them. So I'm just gonna give a basic overview of what's happening here in these designs. Um, so the user, just like on Google Street View, the user is outside on the street exploring, for instance. And then they see a business that they might be interested in going to, or they've traveled to a business that they want to patronize, and they would see it from the outside, and there would be sort of like it's represented here, like not necessarily how this will actually be represented in the system, but we haven't really given the designers very good direction on how this will be represented, nor do we want to like go to the efforts of doing renders, 3D renders of like custom stuff. So what we see in the background here is sort of like a template image that's being used and is not necessarily like representative of our system. Our system is a little bit lower definition, lower what we call like low poly, not necessarily like blocky, but like somewhere between real life, like lifelike imagery and Roblox, somewhere in the middle. This is probably a little balanced more towards like more lifelike, and that's not how it will be represented. We're not building such high definition right now. Eventually, we may change things, but right now we're going for low poly. So there will be some sort of label here on a business or a button that basically kind of shows that this is a business. Now, for houses in the system, they will have sort of this, what will kind of look like sort of a mailbox at the curb. And then you'll be able to see the person's avatar, their username. So even though somebody's verified in our system, you'll be seeing somebody by their unique username. Um, and then the ability to send a message or to request to see their profile. to to go inside somebody's house or building, you would basically, if it's a business, you'd be able to go inside right away. If it's a person's house, you would need to request to do that. And going inside the house would change the experience. So inside the business, we see down here on the first page, we see sort of this top down, number 3 here, this top down bird's eye view of the interior of this business. And there will be labels on different parts of the store that sort of signify different departments. And the different departments will be the choice of that particular business. Pretty much any business can set up in our system, but we only have right now, I think, about 10 or so different types of 3D models for businesses to choose from. So some of those businesses, for instance, will be like fashion stores. Some of them will be a toy store. We have a department store. So there's a wide variety to kind of pick from, but the business owner has to pick the business interior 3D model that best represents their own business. And if we kind of look at what happens after a selection is made, so if I go and click on the electronics department or women's clothing, for instance, the view of the user will drop down to sort of the street level view inside the business at that particular department. So let's say that they clicked on clothing department. They would be seeing now a clothing department with different options, sort of these flying labels that would be on different parts of this particular view. And then you'd be able to see, tops and shoes and, um, you know, I don't know, eyewear or whatever is in that particular view that the viewer is looking at or the user is looking at. And then you'd also see some options at the top here. We could basically transform this department into like a view of a list view. And that would be sort of what we see on like an Amazon type product. So we would just see like 2D images of products and prices and different things. Again, like what's not accurately represented here is like a blurred and darkened feature behind this glassy window because the viewability of this is not the best. And we did not put our designers to the test of being able to accurately represent what's going to be inside the development side. But I can assure you that the viewability of words and panels like this would definitely be something on the development side that we work out. We don't want our we don't want our designers to have to go through certain specifications to try and depict something when it's much easier to do that on the development phase and to do it sort of with one fell swoop. Sometimes it's accurately represented. So like this sort of looks maybe not the blurriest and not like darkened a little bit, but like we would have a few shades darker. This kind of more accurately represents what this glass look would look like. But in any case, we're not critiquing that today. We're going to be looking at the notes that the designer has said that are changes. So this is a really interesting feature as well. You'll be able to, as a business owner, as a clothing business owner, for instance, you'll be able to have a 3D model of your clothes and in real time without using any kind of server processing, which is huge, just by using on device augmented reality, the user would be able to try on clothing. And if you haven't seen it before, this is an example of what that would look like. I'm not going to play, actually, yeah, I'll just put it up on screen. So this is one of our devs testing this feature. So we have a 3D model. So let's say, for an example, this is a tank top and it's got a certain design on it or whatever. You would be able to view this in augmented reality right away, pretty much right out of the box. So as a business owner, to be able to have augmented reality 3D models just from taking 2 pictures of your products is remarkable. And to be able to do it real time and with no rendering on servers means that this is an extraordinary service. So if you're a business owner, especially like a clothing store, this is one of the really cool features that we're really excited about. After trying it on or even viewing this with your friends, you would be able to now add it to your cart and go through like a regular checkout process. So that's kind of the store interior in a nutshell. So let's go back up to, let's go up to our notes here. Staff panel, the staff panel options. I'm still working on, okay, she's still working on this. So this is from the staff's perspective. Three dots to escalate the case report. Okay. I really like the label here of pending. So a lot of this stuff has already been critiqued. So we're just focusing on generally updates that this designer has done here. And she's one of our senior designers on the team. So this is another reason for her. This is sort of like a benefit. So click three dots to escalate the case report, same as staff. So escalate case two. So in this case, we have sort of like an issue that somebody, the user who is talking to the business owner or one of the business owner's staff, they have an issue and they're wanting to report this. I think she just added the three dot menu. So they get two options here. They get to report and then they get to escalate the case. So they can escalate the case to our 65 Square staff or to the business owner. I think this is from the perspective of the business owner. Yeah, so this is the staff panel, I think. Let's try and trace this here. All right, so customer service. So say for instance, like there's an issue with the order. If we have staff, if the business owner has staff in the store, that those staff will be able to take these issues and be able to help resolve them. They could also just be looking for like a refund. They could be asking for a credit. They could be asking a question about a product perhaps that they've purchased already and received. So this is what we're looking at as far as like these designs here. General questions page has been added. All right. So clicking on, so store manager. So I'm the user. Oh, wait a minute. No. So these are staff talking to each other. Here are the options to report issue, system issue, report business, other concerns. So this doesn't make me think that it is. Mm, this doesn't make me think that this is for staff. So this is from the user's perspective. When the user clicks the report, the user can submit the report. Okay. So we start off here. So let's say I'm chatting with this business owner. I can report to the owner or report to 65 Square. 65 Square is depicted wrong. It's small case S and no space. Uh, so they clicked on report. So Natasha is the person who is the user. They're talking to this business owner. So is there a system issue? Report the business or another concern? All right, so there's an other concern for one of these issues. You can now escalate the case too, or report. So escalate. All right. Staff panel. like to count. I really like it. I was wondering if it's customizable. Green and yellow sticky notes are used for this case. Comments. They record who left the note and are visible only to staff and the owner, not to customers. Green notes indicate general case comments, while yellow notes show that the issue has been reported to the owner. All right, looks great. Staff panel chat 2, same as page 3. Staff panel 1C. Escalate the case report. All right, so she's just continuing this here. Escalate report to owner. Yeah, it looks great. I don't have any issue with that. Did I miss something here? Escalate the case report. And then she's not done with this. Staff panel orders inquiries. New page for staff, content creators. Categories have been updated. To unblock the store has been added. Okay. General questions page has been added. General questions page. All right. Looks good. Delivery date has been updated. Did those. Yeah, I don't have any issue with any of these changes. I think, yeah, I think you're on the right track here. Definitely love these labels. They were a great addition. I don't think I have anything else to add. I think you have just this one part up here to finish. Do you think that there's anything else that's kind of outstanding here? Because like otherwise, I think we're almost finished here. I think. If you have any other questions, let me know. I can't really see anything of note that I can really go into or dive into that we haven't already talked about. So yeah, I think you're pretty much almost done here, Kahi. And for those of you watching, thank you so much. And stay tuned for 65 Square, our full social media system coming next year. And you can get Dating Square right now on the app stores. All verified 3D blind dating is available right now. Oops. So get Dating Square right now. All verified 3D blind dating is amazing. If you haven't tried it, you haven't seen a video, go and watch some videos on this channel. There is a playlist for demonstration videos. There's also some promo stuff. We would love to hear your feedback, and we'll see you next time.